What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here and welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back to my channel if you have been here before. And as you can see by the title of today's video, I am actually counting down or basically talking about my favorite anime fights. I chose 5 fights in particular for this one and they're really in no particular order. The reason why I decided to make this video is because I actually did make a YouTube short and just like short form content regarding this, kind of trying to see what everyone's favorite fight was. And I had posted a question about like whether or not you guys would want to see or hear about what my favorite anime fights are. So I decided why not make a video talking about my 5 favorite anime fights that I have and kind of like why they're my favorite and kind of like what my criteria was. So the reason or the way that I chose my favorite anime fights is based off of rewatchability, how legendary it was, and how built up the fight actually ended up being. So one of the first ones I have on here is the OG, and I actually talked about this in my like short form content. It was Goku versus Frieza. I remember when this fight went down, and of course there was the huge buildup for it because everyone was talking about in the Dragon Ball Z universe about how Frieza was on his way and how it was like he's a huge big bad and how basically he needs to be defeated. And I remember actually specifically wanting to watch this because I remember hearing about Krillin dying and us finally seeing Goku turn Super Saiyan. And that was just such a crazy moment for everybody who was watching Dragon Ball Z during that time. And this was just once again a fight that everyone was looking forward to, and just seeing Goku turn Super Saiyan was like the icing on the cake. Such a good fight, and it's still one that I will go back and rewatch all the time. If you're hearing jingling of collars, again, like I've said in several other videos, those are my cats. Every single time I decide to record, they decide it's the perfect time to play, because before this, they were just chilling in their catchery. But now they're sitting aside to wrestling with each other. So if you hear them, hear collars, that is pretty much what it is. The next fight I have on here is Yusuke versus Toguro. This was actually during the Dark Tournament arc, and this was again a fight that everyone was kind of building up to, or that was built up to during the second season, definitely, of Yu Yu Hakusho. I was so excited to see this fight, and on top of that, I just love this arc in general. I love the Dark Tournament arc. I love a lot of the fights that were there, so I had to put Yusuke versus Toguro on this list. You see how Yusuke has like really started to build up his stamina and started to build up a lot of the like powers that he has, and so seeing him go head to head with Toguro was like just amazing to see. And once again, it's a fight that I still go back and re-watch because I like this so much. Third one is another one that was in the Dark Tournament arc, but this was another one that I always go back and watch. Now, technically, there's 2 fights within this one, but I'm only talking about the second one, and that is Kurama versus Toya. This is once again during the Dark Tournament arc, and this was when Kurama actually ended up fighting 2, almost 3 people on the same team because they made this insane rule that if you are inside the ring, you have to continue fighting. Like, it isn't like you just go to the next competitor, which was usually how it was. And that was because in Kurama's fight before Toya, I think it was Gamma, did some sort of it's like a spell on him that involved his, him being, once he was attacked, and it caused where Kurama could not move. And I remember watching this and I was like completely livid that they made him stay in and continue fighting with another person even though he was already hurt. But then I just thought overall that when the fight happened, I absolutely loved it. I absolutely love Kurama's powers. I loved seeing him fight Toya, and again, seeing those fights with Kurama, I still go back and rewatch them because it was just such an entertaining fight in general. And it wasn't even like characters that was being built up. It was just how the fight scene went down and kind of some of the backstory also that you hear about the characters too while they're fighting made it all the more interesting. The fourth one I have on this list is Kenshin versus Makoto Shishio. Now, I absolutely love Rurouni Kenshin just as a show in general, and I absolutely love seeing him go against Shishio because, again, it was a big bad that was kind of built up during the course of that season, and you kept hearing about Makoto Shishio, you kept hearing about how Kenshin knew him, and then seeing them finally fight and seeing them go head to head and seeing, you know, him kind of become Batosai the Manslayer again very briefly, I was obsessed. Absolutely love that fight. Love that Makoto was like beating everybody up, and then seeing him trying to like beat up Kenshin, and just absolutely love this fight. Love this head to head. And again, just like the other ones, it's a fight that I will still go back and watch because of just how well animated it is, how much action there is, and of course, just like with Kurama versus Toya, the backstory involved regarding these characters. And the last one I have on this list is Ichigo versus Grimmjow. And just like Kurama versus Toya, Ichigo versus Grimmjow was not a big bad that wasn't really built up because, as we all know, the big bad during that season was Aizen. But Grimmjow and Ichigo always had a rivalry going on, and them going head to head was again something that was built up as well, and a lot of people wanted to see them fight each other, especially because of the fact that the Arrancars just overall were like besting a lot of the Soul Reapers, and they were already very interesting characters to begin with. So to see Ichigo go head to head with Grimmjow was so satisfying. Plus, I do know that Grimmjow and Ichigo was a very popular ship in the Bleach like fandom, especially within fanfics, but I absolutely just love seeing them go head to head because they both represented something so stark differently from each other, but they also kind of reminded me of each other in a very strange way, just because both Ichigo and Grimmjow had this like personality that they kept wanting to persevere. And seeing them then have to go head to head was, again, very satisfying to see. It's a fight that I will, you know, always enjoy watching. And it's a fight that I was like, needed to happen. And I was so excited when it finally went down. So yeah, those are like my top 5 favorite anime fights. I know there's like a lot more I could have talked about, like Naruto versus Pain, and I'm sure several others, including other ones that are just involved in the same series. Like, of course, you have the fights with Cell in Dragon Ball Z, and then of course I do know that with Rurouni Kenshin, there's several other fights that Kenshin fight. There's several other characters that Kenshin fights that are just as well scripted or just as well animated fight scenes, just like him between Shishio. And with Yusuke, or with Yu Yu Hakusho, there's several other fights during the Dark Tournament arc and other, you know, episodes as well that I absolutely loved. So yeah, but these are just the 5 that I can think of that I really, really enjoyed and that I still will go back and watch. Now, let me know if you guys want me to like count down my favorite like matchups as far as like sports are concerned, because there's some episodes within the sports animes that I've watched, like Kuroko's Basketball, Prince of Tennis, and Haikyuu that I still will go back and watch, especially in Kuroko's Basketball. Maybe that isn't just an entire video all on its own. But yeah, what are your favorite fights within anime? I know I posted kind of the same question in the short form content, but for those of you guys who have not seen it, I would love to see your comments here as well. What did you think of this video? Let me know as well. Let me know what you would like to see next time for another video as well. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and links below to all my social media accounts, so please feel free to follow me on there. And I'll see you guys soon with a new video. And like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and in today's day and age, stay healthy. And of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys. Bye.